What we do here is go back.
Good morning, guys. How's everybody doing? Crazy session to wake up to, eh? So I'm gonna start a little bit early here. Just not too much earlier, but just a little bit earlier. Just gonna go over a few things, some stuff that we want to show you guys, some things to definitely be watching out for this morning. So obviously, we all know the big news. So a lot of this started off of the COVID-19 news that the numbers keep crawling up. However, I do not think without the OPEC fiasco with oil that this would have been nearly as severe as it is. I'm going to go over that here a little bit this morning. There are a couple of things that are actually moving up. There's been actually a couple of, so mostly you've got analysts downgrading stuff, which we kind of figured that was going to happen, but there actually are a few upgrades, and it's going to be in things, and this is what I wanted to point out, especially this morning, is I wouldn't get these with short expirations if you can afford them. If you have to do it in like spreads, that's probably the smartest way to do it, is to preserve capital in an environment like this. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are on the sidelines. I mean, there's going to be hedge funds blowing up this morning. There's hedge funds that just made fortunes. There's been a couple that were in the news I saw this morning that I read in Bloomberg, that were up 77% as of this morning because they've been short the market since January. After basically this guy, they'd taken a bunch of bets against oil and airlines, and they were losing big time as the market kept pushing into all-time highs. But he had visited some island vacation place in China. He's Chinese, and he witnessed that there was no one there, and so he said, just hold on to the positions, just wait, and it's paying off huge. I mean, we're talking about billions of dollars they've just made overnight, basically. But a lot of fortunes are blown. A lot of people are probably blowing up. There's probably a lot of desperation. Now, this is exactly a perfect example of why we trade options, is because we don't need to trade in one direction. But if you're going to get long on some of these things that I'm talking about right now, definitely buy yourself some duration. So some of the stuff that's been upgraded, and this is stuff we've been talking about, is Target, Walmart, and Costco. Now, those three names right there, obviously you can all figure out why they would be upgraded in these kind of conditions with all the stuff that they'll be selling out of, which they already have mostly, but it's going to continue. And as fears continue to pump in, and staples actually always move up anyway, and that's why I'm always talking about like McDonald's. People still need to eat. Walmart, people still need to buy toilet paper and buy Clorox, and especially with this kind of stuff. So when you guys look at my futures map, the reason I have XLP here next to XLF, because they're actually almost divergences. So if XLP is moving up, generally XLF is moving down, and XLF usually generally moves with the market, because XLF being financials, there's all the banks, so that's what it has a lot of weight in the S&P especially, and in the Russell actually, because there's a lot of mid-sized banks in the Russell. That's why I watch the Russell so much too. It's not that I ever really trade like IWM or anything, but here and there I do, especially if there's a big divergence that I can see. But it's been lagging a lot the last year, so it's been kind of tricky to trade, but it's important to watch. And so we watch XLP and XLF together to see if they're both moving up. We know that there's probably some sort of divergence happening, and we've actually been able to trade off of this. You guys don't really need to know much more than that right now. It's definitely something I would be more than happy to get into when we do our educational courses, which will be coming out here in the next couple months. There is a lot of stuff that I talk about with divergences in XLP and XLF. So the big story, obviously oil. So what happened is just, I'm going to break it down really simple and quick. Basically, they've been trying to strike, they've had an overabundance. They actually have too much. They're producing too much oil. That's why we've seen the prices drop so far off. We were up about 60. And then I keep telling you guys that 50 was the magic number. And once 50 was broken and they weren't able to recapture 50, especially last week, you can see up here, the high was only 46. That's what I was talking about. This is about to get ugly. Did I think it was going to fall this much? Absolutely not. But I've been short oil for the last about week. And it paid off big time. As we dropped down last night, when we hit this 27.34, we were actually almost 34% negative. They have bought it back up to about 21% here this morning. So ATG and I were talking about in Discord, what we're doing, and this is something that anybody could take this trade along with us, is we're taking a very, very far out duration play. So the ETF for /CL, just like, you've got SPY for ES, the ETF that we play for like sweet crude oil is USO. It dropped very, very harsh last night. I actually was trading it last night. It's one of those ones that trades 24 hours. I traded it last night, and then I'm going to hold on to shares because I got an extremely good price. So what we're also going to be doing as soon as the market opens up is we're going to be trying to get some USO calls, but we're going to be buying these calls really far out. So that we're able to prosper up, because there's no way this, yes, I'm not a big oil advocate. There's a lot of personal reasons why, but so I played ExxonMobil last night, ticker symbol XOM, but I wouldn't be buying, even though it's down into the 40s this morning, I wouldn't go out and be buying shares of that or far out calls in that, because for that to bounce, yeah, there'll be a bounce, but to get a good profit off that, it's going to take a lot more. Individual companies are probably not the way to go on this oil play, guys. I think the best way to play this, if you want to play this, is get USO calls with us, and we're going out to like 2022. We're going out like about a year. We're going to be buying the $10 and the $15 calls. Lots of duration, because we're thinking that there's no way they're going to let this stay down here. I mean, you can see they've already started to buy it up this morning. They're going to manipulate it. Now, does that mean there's a war, or there's going to be a tanker that goes down? There'll be something. I mark my words right now. Something will happen, and they will push this up. That's how it works. Darth, he's cracked me out. I just read his thing in Discord. Trying to concentrate here. No, but yeah, so that's a play that you're going to hear me and Attic talking about a lot over the next probably few days, and a little bit more into that tomorrow, because I'll be looking to slowly stair-step in. I'm not just going to go in and buy 50 calls, but I'm definitely going to start a position in that this morning. Like I said, I already got some shares in USO. I'll hold on to those for quite a while. This is like a long duration play, and especially even those calls. We're not going to buy them a week out or 2 weeks out. We're going to be buying them literally probably about a year out. Maybe not a full year, but like January 2022, February-ish, somewhere in there. So you'll hear us talking about that quite a bit. You'll see us post stuff about it today, but you'll hear us talking about it probably every once in a while. I mean, over the next couple of weeks, if not a couple of months. And depending on what else happens with oil, we'll definitely be watching it. I don't. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this, especially in oil. This is actually the first time. I believe this is actually the first time this has ever happened with the halt in non-trading hours. Because let's see what it said. It said. So what they are, guys, is this limit down. It's circuit breaker protection, and they enacted these after I believe 2009, after the financial crisis, because they didn't have those. So otherwise, it could just keep selling off and literally like flash crash. So they've put these in there. So I'll just read them how they are in the definition. So level 1, if the S&P 500 drops 7%, trading will pause for 15 minutes. This would occur today if it falls 208 points. Level 2 is 13%. Trading will pause for 50 minutes. But that's so it will pause for 15 minutes if the drop occurs on or before 3:25 p.m. There will be no halt if the drop happens after that. So that would happen today if the S&P falls 386 points. Level 3 being the 20%. Trading would halt for the remainder of the day, and we would have to fall a total of 594 points today at any point, and then it halts until it opens for the next day. And so what we saw last night was the limit down, where it did halt for 15 minutes at 5%, and then it opened up. And what we keep repeating over and over in Discord is the fact that it's not actually closed. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, sorry, I was reading the Twitter. So Twitter, the deal with I'm watching the news at the same time, obviously. So the Twitter thing that went through with that financial group, it is going through. So Twitter is making a deal with that Elliott Management Group. They're wanting to out Jack Dorsey because he had he's making plans to move to Africa, and they think that because of between that and that he's running multiple companies, blah, blah, blah. So Twitter's actually bouncing up on that. So Twitter's actually bidding up compared to almost everything else. But yeah, so the thing is it halted and then it opened back up. But the reason you're not seeing it move anywhere is because everybody's running for the door. They're getting scared. They want to get out, and there's nobody. It's supply and demand, right, guys? There has to be. I know most of the time it seems like no matter what, you can always get in a position on some of this stuff that we play because of the liquidity. Well, this is one of those times where you realize it truly is supply and demand. And why would somebody be willing to sell you anything when? I mean, there's panic. This is blood in the streets kind of moment, definitely. Now, what'll be interesting to see is if this just tanks and we hit that next halt this morning, or if this is one of those buy the dip scenarios. Now, I would be more inclined to say that we're not going to be buying the dip. Perhaps the price action might change my mind. I mean, oil's already pushed up. I mean, it's up to now. It's down. Well, it's still down negative 21%, but still, it was down negative 34% at one point last night. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so that's what it was. The prior circuit breaker system was revamped after it failed to prevent the May 2010 crash. Yeah, I knew it wasn't like right at the... So they were put in effect in February 2013. Yeah, so I was right. So this never has been... so this has never been actually enacted before. So, which I mean, it's crazy, right? Like how could it have been? But that's what I thought, something like that. So, So I'll go over a couple more things, individual names before I get back to the actual market. I want to talk about bonds a little bit too, but so Twitter is bumped up a little bit on good news. Normally, I think if the market was normal, even if it was a down day, it probably would be running much higher. That might be a good fade play, considering that the market is just going to be dragging it down. But I'd be careful with that as well. This is definitely one of those situations, you guys, where I know you're going to see a lot of big gains by a lot of the guys, but there's no shame in standing on the sidelines and paper trading or just watching this and learning. This is not a time to just get cocky and jump in and start chasing things. This is going to wipe people out. I guarantee you there are many professionals been doing this longer than any of us, even me, that are absolutely wiped out this morning, like for real. And yeah, you know, we make jokes and we laugh and we try to be encouraging and all that. But to the honest, I don't like watching anybody lose money. I don't. I mean, unless you're like some giant penny stock guru, then yeah, of course I do. But like the majority of the people that traded, this is their life, right? This feeds their kids. This puts, you know, food on the table. This is what, you know, how their kids go to college. Like, it's not fun to watch people lose money. I don't take any pleasure in that at all. I do find a little bit of hidden pleasure in the fact that, like, passive investors will, you know, that do nothing and just expect somebody else to watch their money. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous to me, and this is a lesson for them. They're not going to learn their lesson because they're rich. They don't really care, most of those people. But so Twitter's definitely one to watch for a possible fade off of this news that's pushing it up. Boeing is going to be really tricky. I would like to have gotten in Boeing. There was more bad news about they're going to have stricter. There's a bunch of stuff going on with the wiring harnesses and that they need to be redone essentially. I'm simplifying all of this, guys. So Boeing is definitely going to have a massive down day, no matter what they do. So pretty much at the way the market is moving, and those names, those two, I would almost be inclined to say short any rallies. So they're going to try to fool everybody, right? Because the market makers don't want to lose money, and they're losing money on a day like today. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to trick us. Now, the thing is, they might be too far gone and it might just plummet and hit a circuit breaker, but I actually have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of stuff getting choppy around in here, and they're going to try to bid it up, and then they're going to try to pull the rug out. So what I would say is until we're not anymore, I would be shorting rallies, and that's what ATG and I were saying all last week. Darth had pointed out in a couple of videos, we keep pushing that whole idea of shorting rallies. So what happened on like Friday is we had kept warning people that I had said it many, many times that day. I know Darth, I believe, had said something about it too. I mean, all three of us were talking about this, but I had said it several times, was that there's no way people were going to want to hold anything either way into the weekend. So what that means is that when it comes into like power hour, there's no surprise there that it went up like it did, because all of those people that were holding shorts, they needed to get out, so they had to buy back in. So that's why we see that end of day rally there. And that was a great opportunity because it did not close over one of our key levels, and that's when we were buying puts. And I know Willie was in on that. He was really paying attention to what we were saying about those levels, and those are the kind of things that will just come with time. And now that it's happened, you guys are aware of that, and that's great, because that means the next time you guys are able to get in and do that same move. So basically what that is, and I used to trade this, used to be a trade I do all the time, I still do it a lot, is as I call it the down all week Friday bump. Because what it is that basically when a stock or an index is down all week and is being short sold over and over and over and over, when you get down into that Friday expiration right before the weekend, almost every time that power hour bump, sometimes 30 minutes before power hour, so you got to be really, really vigilant and watch what's going on with the price action. But almost 90% of the time, seriously, no one's going to want to hold that through the weekend. So they're going to start buying back in at power hour, and that thing is just going to rip. So what I would do is I would wait until just right before power hour, and I would, obviously price dictates, watching your levels, but I would almost always buy calls right before, and they'd be cheap as hell, because the thing had been going down all week, and especially with the last hour to go, I could get in with a really good price right before power hour, and then that thing will just rip up a good, usually about 1% to 2%, and that when they're cheap contracts, that's a huge win. I mean, that's how I was able to do that a couple weeks ago, when we first started doing all this crazy down days, is like in SPY and SPX and stuff, I was able to wait till right before power hour. I was able to get for on average about $1.50. I was able to turn every $1.50 into $16, and that's how some of those crazy percentages add up real quick. So that's how that happens, you guys. Yeah, so the big thing is going to be watching oil this morning and gold. Gold did get over 1,700 last night for just a little bit. It hit a high of 1,704.30. Bonds and 10 years, this is going to be really interesting to watch, especially the bonds, because everybody, you can see here last night, as soon as it opened, everybody just went running up into bonds. It did sell back off just a little bit, but this is pretty normal, just people kind of allocating cash and moving around. So this will be very interesting to watch. The other thing I'm going to be watching would be chip stocks because of supply lines. There's going to be a lot of panic around that, and that kind of where all the dominoes start to fall, right, guys? Like, so as we see like chip stocks start to fail, we see some of the bigger companies failing with supply lines. I mean, so it's kind of funny because like Apple was saying it wasn't going to be as big of a deal, and then Disney was reopening. There's no way. They're trying to save face, and they're trying to prevent from them, dropping 20% overnight. But I mean, we're going to be opening up here. Well, let's look around here right before open. So my big thing is going to be saying is I'm going to say until we're going to be fading rallies. It's definitely going to be something you want to keep your eye on. Is price action, you guys, and those levels that we keep talking about over and over. And Addict has been very, very good about posting those in the Discord ES room. So continue to refer back to that if you have to. My big suggestion would be you don't have to write every single level, but I would definitely put the main ones that he posts in there and that we keep talking about and that I've said over and over and over. I mean, everything I traded off of last week, technicals really aren't working right now, you guys. It doesn't work in crazy panic scenarios, but what does work are our levels. Those levels have been the same for the last year at least, and they will continue to be in play until they're not. And so I would continue to say short rallies until there's not. So you can see basically Facebook is going to open up at 169 from 181. Apple's going to open up about 261 from 289. Amazon closed about 1901, and now they're clear down to 1770. Wow, geez. Netflix was at 360, we'll say 369. It's going to be opening around 344. There was a pre-market low of 343, so that'd be another one I would be watching those numbers. Google 1295 will be opening around 1210, and Microsoft should be opening about 150. It had closed at 161. So a lot of this, what I would watch, you guys, is I would watch those closes from last week as far as like a stop up. Anything basically below that, again, I would be shorting rallies in all of these names as well. Jim Cramer, yeah, he's probably all of them. All of the analysts and all those people are saying to buy everything. I mean, I heard there was like people in the government saying to buy it, and that's when you know it's time to panic because they're just absolutely off of their rocker. Boeing is going to be opening about 238. It had close at 262. I'm actually surprised that's not going to be lower. Roku is going to be down quite a bit. It's sitting around 90 right now. It closed at 102. Activision just down slightly at 56. Shopify down at 430 from 472. Nvidia is sitting at 236 from 266, and Tesla is opening up around 600. So Tesla's gonna be opening down over $100. So Tesla closed at 703.48. It's gonna be opening up at $600. Holy crap! So way everything is gonna be opening far below all the Celts, guys. That's pretty expected. I'm really curious to see where some of the volatility opens up. Obviously, we're going to have massive spikes in volatility. So right out of open, things are going to be really, really wacky. Hopefully, nothing gets too messed up on our trading platforms. But definitely be careful as things are going to swing wildly. The spreads are going to be huge, as I can already see. What else is in here real quick? I know there's something else I was looking at. Spartacus asking about how do we get filled on puts. And you could try market orders, but that is going to be so dangerous because the spreads are going to be so big that it could fill you. It could fill like super far apart. I mean, market orders could be. It could be $2 spreads. And I've already started stepping in the USO on shares. I'll be looking to get far out calls probably right away because it's being bought up pretty quick here. As you can see, oil is starting to here. I'll blow it up a little bit bigger. There you go. So you can see it's starting to move up already. I'm actually going to blow a couple of these up just so we can kind of see a little bit better there. Yeah, and I'll be referring back to that a lot today, guys. So even after I'll only be on here for a little bit here this morning, I wanted to just get some pre-market, ideas into the head, just as far as like what's going on in the whole shorting the rally things until we're out of those key levels. Again, don't just throw all your money into puts or whatever. I would be very, very, very guarded on my cash. I would not just be throwing it away. So I want to see where I'm sure it's going to be insane where we open up on some of this stuff, but I'm going to open here in just a second. Let me get a better look on this. Looks so weird because it can't. So we already opened up down at 7%. I wonder if this will halt us. Crap. So it hit us right at 27.59.50, 6.9%. That's funny. You can see my low there, my August dump low. That's funny. Yeah, so that's what we figured was going to happen. I mean, just right out of the gate, there was no way for it to move. And then so this is a 15-minute halt, and then it will move. And then they've got 13%, which if you guys remember what I had said, it was. Yeah, this oil thing really screwed up. I mean, basically what happened is that Russia said no to the deal about cutting supply, and then Saudi Arabia further pushed it down, because otherwise we would have had this happen last week, was that Saudi said no, they were going to increase their output by a significant amount of millions of barrels, because right now I think they're putting out like 9.7, so just under 10, and that was where they're supposed to sit. They're saying they're going to push out like 12.9 million barrels. So there's like, I mean, that's a massive difference, and that's because they're able to do it for so cheap. And so basically what they're doing is they're running the entire, North American oil companies out of business. And that's basically what this has done. Yeah, essentially it was instantly. I mean, literally, because it had all those bids. What was it, to like some like ungodly amount. And the funny thing was, it actually wasn't as down as far as you would think. It was down just negative 1,243. I mean, which is huge, but not as much as you would expect. Yeah, you guys, it's 15 minutes, so just give it. We got to wait till 9:45. There's some other plays. I mean, you could be looking at other stocks, and I would be doing the same thing. As I would be. Again, like I've said all morning, is to be shorting these rallies. So you can see like Apple's trying to push up. Wow, why is this so screwed up? Wow, Facebook's all screwed up on my chart here. So Apple's trying to push up here. Obviously, I would wait, but there'd be a possible fade on Apple. But again, there's gonna be a lot of people. I mean, look at that price point. I mean, it's $260. People, that's a hell of a price for Apple now. So people are gonna try to be pushing that up on there. Yeah, and as far as going like shorting that stuff, guys, it's gonna be, you've got to be careful because the spreads are gonna be so super wide. Which sucks too. I didn't get filled on any of my stuff. I tried to sell a bunch of them as where I had calculated. It probably would have been close if I had another minute, but I mean, kind of expected. I'm not, yeah, and that's fine. I mean, there's no way it'll go up enough for me to lose too much. So yeah, oil's pushing up pretty decent here. Bonds are not pushed up as much as I thought they were going to be. Same with gold. It actually backed off just ever so slightly. Oil is pushing up. Staples are pushing up. The VIX didn't even get a chance to basically update either. VVIX is up 12.81%. Well, yeah, you guys, of course, the SPY is halted. It's the ETF for the for the S&P 500. They can't move. How it's a derivative of the S&P. How would it move by itself? That doesn't even make sense. So no, Spartacus, there's no. Well, he's probably not even on here. I don't know why I'm. Oh, maybe it's not, but I mean, I would be very careful moving anything in there. So oil is continuing to move around. It's definitely slowed way down, but it was pushing up there decent. Same with gold. Bonds are actually coming in a lot more than I expected. I wonder if people are trying to allocate around. God, look at those candles, 1 hour candles on the NASDAQ. Looks so funny. Yeah, no, yeah, there's no way, you guys. Well, the Nasdaq wasn't down as much. The Nasdaq had actually pushed up last night. That's what I kept saying last night in Discord. It was actually pushing up a little bit. It was trailing just a little bit behind, so it took it a second extra to get in there. Okay, oil's coming back in now. I was wondering if it was going to continue to push up, but it's actually coming back in now, which is good because I want to get the best positioning I can on those USO calls. I actually had a hell of a pre-market trading on USO last night. It's really, really nice. So you can see Roku was trying to push up. It did open up down there at 90, and it already pushed all the way up to 95. So it was trying to make a run up, which is surprising. Boeing obviously down over 11%, so that was just going to continue to fall apart. Activision down 5%, but you can see it was also trying to make a run up there. It did run right into that lower Celt, but if they can get back over that, Activision might be a decent up play for farther out duration. Shopify was down 8%. NVIDIA was down 8.69%. Tesla clear down to 12%, but it was actually pushed up. It hit that low of 605, which is good because it was down over $100, and it was already starting to push up, but it is down 12% here this morning. BABA down 4.85%. Baidu clear down at 6%. AMD was down 10%. Ouch, but it is actually up over that lower Celt. So if it can hold on to that, it might actually be a decent play. I would be looking more down at the bottom. You got Qualcomm, Disney, and McDonald's. Qualcomm was down at 71.83. It's already pushed back up a buck here. Disney was down 5.4%. McDonald's was down 4.59%, but you could see it hit a low of 185.50, and it's already pushed up to 189. So McDonald's is one of those ones where I was just talking like this morning with, like, you got Target, Walmart, Costco. Things like McDonald's are also, now there's more expensive ones, so I won't get into those, but McDonald's is probably one of the better plays for duration. Even if we go into recession, those are things that you want to be either owning long-term duration on, is like Target, Walmart, McDonald's, because like I said, people still need to eat. They still need to buy necessities. So those are things that you can push into. And no, I wouldn't say the plan is to invest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin dumped huge. Yeah, McDonald's could be decent here. All right, you guys. I'm gonna leave this on for a few minutes. I gotta get on the phone with a student, and then I've got a bunch of stuff to do. We'll be in Discord a lot this morning. We'll be going over all that stuff, but I will be back on in just well, I'll be on Discord all day, but I'll let stream go for just a little bit, but then I will turn it off. I want to see what come back from the halt and see what happens after that, and then we'll go over that stuff. So yep, I will talk to you in just a minute. I gotta talk to a couple people here. They're kind of panicking, so everybody just remember, if you have to, just play on the sideline until we get a better picture of what's going on. There will be entries, there will be places to play. Believe me, this is why I'm saying going into tomorrow is more important than anything really today. Today is going to be a matter of just seeing where things move and what happens. But yeah, this is something to learn from and plan for the future, because this is not over. This is going to happen many, many more times.
What we do here is go back, 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 back.